Hello, what's up everyone? In this video, we are going to be talking about the unemployment rates that are currently going through the roof. And in fact, what I read an article today and it said that 16 million people in the US have lost their jobs in the last couple of weeks. And that's just the US. Now, the crazy thing is, that's just the US, but the reality is that that's happening globally. And first of all, I wanna say that I have complete empathy for people that are going through this challenge. And what you may not realize is I personally have just gone through this challenge myself. In the last couple of weeks, after 10 years of working somewhere, got made redundant. So number one, I have a lot of empathy. I also have a lot of desire to help people because of, I guess this is fresh for me. So I wanna give people my insights on how I personally feel that we could be dealing with this, or a lot of people can deal with this in order to get the most out of what is happening right now. So my objective today is to be sharing a number of ideas that we can be implementing so that you can come out on top of whatever is happening, whether you are scared of losing your job, you've just lost your job, or you're stressed for a number of other reasons. I'm not too sure. So first of all, if you don't know who I am, my name is Munir, and I'm very excited to be taking you through this video. Is my video frozen? Okay, hold on. There we go. For some reason, my video froze for a couple of minutes, and I just realized, but we're all good. We're all good now. Just camera 2 is down. Camera 2 is down, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, let's move on. So I have to stick with camera 1 and camera 3. Camera 2 is no-go. So first of all, like I said, my name is Munir, and this is another episode of Personal Persuasion. Now, let's talk about this, right? 16 million people lost their jobs over the last couple of weeks. I mean, and that's just in the US, right? It's happening globally. I don't live in the US, but it's a good indicator of what's happening around the world. Some countries are going to be worse affected. Some industries are worse affected. I personally have been working in travel, and travel is hugely affected by what's going on. So let's talk about what we can do about it and how to deal with it. So the first area that I want to cover is, for a lot of people that have either lost their jobs or are scared of losing their jobs, or to be honest with you, with this current scenario that we are in, they're scared of a whole number of issues. The first thing that I'd say that we got to get our heads around is the stress and anxiety. And here's what I mean, right? So many people are going through stress and anxiety either because you've lost your job, or you're afraid of losing it, or you're just worried about your health and everything. But it's those emotions that we need to stay away from as much as possible, because they don't allow us to think clearly about what we should be doing right now. So when we have stress and anxiety, we're not thinking clearly. We're not like, okay, this is problem solving mode, this is problem solving time. What do I need to do to get the best out of where I'm at right now? Or what do I need to do in order to come out on top, whatever it is. But if we are just focusing on the stress and anxiety, we're not thinking clearly. We're not problem solving. We're not doing anything productive, and so we're not fixing the situation. We're not solving the problem, or we're not setting ourselves up so that we aren't in trouble. So how do we overcome stress and anxiety? Now, I've done a couple of videos in my YouTube lives, etc. And please feel free to check it out, where I talk specifically about overcoming stress and anxiety. Oddly enough, before I'd lost my job. But you know what? I gotta say, I use it. I use these techniques, and they've helped me get over this very quickly. Now, not to say that it doesn't affect you. Of course it affects you. It affected me. However, my downtime is a lot less because of these techniques. And I want to share with you some of the techniques that I use. And the main one specifically that I want to talk about is the questions that we ask ourselves. So here's what I mean by that, right? Perhaps you know someone, and perhaps you know someone intimately, like yourself. I know I've done this. I'm guilty of it a couple of nights myself. But with everything that's going on, everyone's forwarding stuff on WhatsApp a lot, right? And the stuff that people are forwarding, oh my God, doom and gloom, right? And the reality is, if you go to bed, like let's say there's one of these nights you've gone to bed, you've just read, oh my God, the more people are infected, more people are this, more people are that, jobs are down, da 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 da. If you're just reading all the crap, then what's going to happen is when you go to sleep, your mind is this amazing supercomputer that processes information as you sleep. So when if the last thing that you input is negative, and then you sleep, you are building over the fuel for anxiety and stress. So when you wake up, you're more stressed and anxious because you've fed a lot of crap into your mind. Does this make sense? So what can you do instead? Questions. Powerful questions. So before you go to bed, no matter what sort of day you had, no matter what situation you're in, ask yourself the following questions. Number one, what am I grateful for? Doesn't matter how crap everything is that you're going through. And believe me, I know I've been through so much. I get it. But at the same time, in my whole life, no matter how crappy the situations have been, I've always said, what am I blessed? Why, what am I grateful for? And sometimes you have to ask yourself even when you don't want to ask yourself. I know that a couple of times when people have passed away that were very, very close to me, I was devastated. I've been in tears. And it sounded like there's nothing that, to me at that moment in time, I felt like I wasn't grateful for anything. But I forced myself to ask that question. And I'd always find something. Like, when I was in the worst times of my life, and I'd be like, I'm grateful that this person has called to check and see if I was okay. I'm grateful that this person was around to help, that cared enough to check in on me, or whatever it is, right? Like I'd find something even when I was at my worst in life, right? And so gratitude is such a powerful emotion because when you're grateful, it takes away stress. It reduces depression and stress. Okay, so number one, before I go to bed, I say, what am I grateful for? All right, what did I do well today? What did I learn today? These are three powerful questions that when you ask yourself before you go to bed, right? Because this is what happens. Have you ever asked yourself a question and then you go, okay, you know what? Yeah. And then you answer it consciously, but then, you'd be like 3 hours later, you're in the shower, you're like, oh, and then it's like a light bulb moment goes off. That's because your brain processes information in the background. It always processes information when you ask powerful questions that you've really thought about. And so if you really think about those questions and you really mull it over, when you go to sleep, it works in the background and it's going through all the good things that happen to you in the day and it's processing that. So that's giving you the fuel to empower you to get rid of depression, anxiety, and stress, right? Another thing that you can ask yourself as well is, before you go to bed, what can I do tomorrow that will make it an amazingly productive day and help me move towards my ultimate vision or goal? I don't know, something along those lines. But if you ask yourself empowering questions and you just really, you kind of think about it, just you take about 30 seconds and you really think about it and you go, what could I do? What could I do? What could I do tomorrow? I could go live with another video. I could work on my course. I could X, Y, Z. And you really come up with a few answers. And then when you go to sleep, guess what? Your mind in the background will continue to think. And then for some reason, every once in a while, you wake up in the morning and you go, you know what? I've just had an idea. Maybe I should do that. You didn't just have the idea. Your mind worked on it all night long. So I say that you want to ask these questions because no matter what situation you've gone through, if you can ask yourself the right questions versus living in stress and anxiety, you'll be able to solve the problem better. You'll either be able to find a different opportunity faster, you'll be able to deal with the situation, or you'll be able to build a plan B faster, right? Which actually brings me to my second point, and that is having a plan B. So one of the blessings that I have right now is that about 3 years ago I had a scare where I was going to lose my job. 3 years ago, and my boss came to me and he's like, look, there are redundancies that are happening, etc. And he said, you've got to think about these things because there's always going to be this risk. There's always going to be this risk. And he said to me, look, you've got car insurance, right? And I said, yes. And he said, but you don't plan on having an accident? And I went, no. He said, okay. You've got health insurance, right? And I said, yeah. He said, you don't plan on getting sick, do you? And I said, no. He said, okay. So what's your plan B for your income? And I didn't have one. I didn't have a plan B for my income. And at that time, and so from then till now, like, I'd been working and doing a couple of things, and that's why I've been speaking a lot more, etc. Now, yes, to a certain degree, a little bit of my plan B is affected right now because I can't go and speak anywhere. But at the same time, at least I'm way further. I've been thinking about this. I've been preparing. I've been looking at what is a plan B, what is a plan C, and so I'm not completely caught off guard. And if you haven't lost your job, this is the time to start looking at, okay, what can I do for my plan B? If you've lost your job, again, complete sympathy. I'm there with you. I know what you're going through. This is the time to start looking at, okay, I need a new plan A. And here's the reality, right? Yes, the economy might be changing very dramatically. While that brings about a lot of challenges, it also brings about a lot of opportunities. Right now, you can start something from your house, from your computer. In fact, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm focusing on creating, on selling something. I'm doing a 30-day challenge where every single day they give you something to do that will help you at the end of 30 days be selling something online, whether it's your own products that you create or other people's products, etc. But within 30 days, you have something. This is by one of the top online marketers, a guy called Russell Brunson. He works with Tony Robbins, etc. I'll put a link under this video to this challenge. But I mean, it's just one example of something that you could be doing. I mean, finding a way to look at what you could be doing right now with the opportunities that are available right now and what's going to be growing. Online education, online working, meetings, things like that. So many different types of industry are changing because of what's going on in the world right now. And so, yes, it's bringing about a lot of challenges. It's also bringing about a lot of opportunities. So, I highly recommend, if you don't know where to start, check out the link that I'll put below this video. It's one of many that are available, but it's something that you can potentially start doing. And this is in my opinion, one of the most amazing ones. It's only like $100 to kind of do a 30-day challenge where they take you every single day, step by step, and at the end of 30 days, you'll have something ready, done, dusted, good to go. Okay, so you want to start looking into what is plan B for you, or what's plan A for you. And if you've got an A and a B, what is plan C, right? Like these are things that we want to start looking into so that we secure ourselves for the future. And another suggestion that I have earlier, that I have for you, and is a little similar to what I was talking about. You know, when you're asking yourself that question, what can I do tomorrow that will help me take me to my ideal future, right? Now, this is a time where we are in the houses where we're confined. By the way, it's social. It's not social isolation. It's physical isolation, right? You can talk to people, but we are stuck in the house where we have the opportunity to do a lot. It's a lot of time for self-reflection, right? This is a time where if you don't know what your ideal future is, get clear on it, right? Perhaps you got into whatever industry that you were in just because of the environment, or someone pushed you into it, or that was what was available. But let's start looking at what is the ideal future, because if you don't know what your perfect ideal future is, then how can you achieve it? So you want to start looking into that and getting very clear on it. Otherwise you're kind of going around in circles. So and then at least when you ask yourself on a daily basis, what could I do tomorrow that will help me get to my ideal future, then you know that on a daily basis you're moving towards a specific perfected destination that you truly desire. So and then the final thing I wanted to say is build relationships at this time. I get it. It's like, as I say, it's not social isolation, it's not social distancing, it's physical distancing. This is a time where we need people more than ever. And guess what? You know, at other times, people are too busy. People are too busy to talk. People are too busy with work. People are too busy. Now is a time where people aren't busy and they want that human connection. If you connect with people right now, believe me, you know, everything relies on people, whether it's your social life, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your career, your job, your success in your career, whatever it is, everything relies on people. So start reaching out to more people, to more of the people that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Don't do it because I want to get something out of it. No, do it because that's the right thing to do. It's the human thing to do. People are stressed right now. People are anxious. People are lonely. The more that you reach out to people, the more people will remember you and love you, and perhaps may help you and look for different opportunities to help you in the future. So build the relationships that you have so that you can grow to another level. And like I say, use that time wisely. You like I said, you know, we were saying earlier, so many people are now at home and have more time. Also, you have more time. We want to start using that time wisely, investing that time in the right things. I personally am, I mean, I love Netflix. I'm not completely innocent, but I gotta say, like, I'm quite impressed that even, you know, with everything that's going on, I'm watching one episode of something on Netflix per day. One episode, that's it. Nothing more. Just one episode. And you could be doing and the rest of the time I'm working on things, I'm finding new ways that I could be hustling, etc. And perhaps that's something that you may want to look at as well. So that's it from me. Once again, I want to say I know that this is a challenging time for a lot of people. It's a time that may be a challenge, but with every single challenge there is an opportunity. And I hope that you take advantage of the opportunity. You can make the most out of it, and you can come out the other side amazingly good. So this is Munir coming at you with another episode, and I will catch you very, very soon. Peace out, and I'll see you soon.